Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the machines that make our hearts race. Today, we're talking about something straight out of a gearhead's dream revival that's been whispered about for years, finally roaring back to life. I'm talking about the 2026 Oldsmobile 442 Cutlass, the muscle car icon that's been resurrected by General Motors after 2 decades in the shadows. If you're old enough to remember the glory days of the 60s and 70s, when the 442 was tearing up drag strips and turning heads on Main Street, this modern take is going to hit you right in the feels. But it's not just nostalgia. It's packed with cutting-edge tech, brutal power, and a price tag that doesn't make you sell a kidney. Stick around as we break it all down, from the aggressive lines that scream speed to the cockpit that wraps you in luxury. The thunder under the hood, what it'll cost to park one in your garage, and why this could be the antidote to all those sanitized electric crossovers flooding the market. Let's fire it up and get started. Picture this. You're approaching the front of the 2026 Oldsmobile 442 Cutlass for the first time, and it's like staring down a predator ready to pounce. That massive chrome grille dominates the fascia, stretched wide like it's daring you to challenge it, flanked by razor-thin LED matrix headlights that slice through the night with pinpoint precision. These aren't just lights. They're adaptive beams that adjust on the fly, scanning for deer or dipping for oncoming traffic without blinding anyone. Below them, the lower air dam is sculpted deep, pulling in cool air to feed the beast underneath, and it's accented with sleek black trim that gives it a mean, lowered stance even when it's sitting still. The hood? Oh man, it's long and purposeful, with functional vents carved right into the center real ones. Not just for show that help dissipate heat during those hard launches. And the Oldsmobile script badge sits proudly up top, embossed in chrome, a nod to the heritage without feeling dated. From the front, this thing measures about 193 inches bumper to bumper, with a width that pushes 76 inches, making it feel planted and wide-shouldered, like it's built to own the road. The color palette plays into that, 2 options like midnight copper that shifts from deep burgundy in the shade to fiery red in the sun, or retro gold that evokes those classic 70s show cars. It's aggressive without being cartoonish, blending the raw muscle of the original with just enough futurism to turn skeptics into believers. Now, swing around to the side, and that's where the 442 really flexes its timeless proportions. You've got that iconic, long hood, short deck silhouette stretched over a 112-inch wheelbase, which gives it perfect balance for carving corners or straight-line sprints. The roofline slopes gently rearward into a fastback-ish taper, keeping the profile sleek, and aerodynamic. GM claims a drag coefficient around 0.32, which is impressive for something this burly. The beltline runs low and straight, emphasizing the haunches over the rear wheels, which are wrapped in 20-inch forged aluminum wheels shod with fat Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. Tires 275/40ths up front, 305/35ths out back for that perfect stagger. Those wheels aren't just pretty. They're lightweight at about 25 pounds each, shaving rotational mass for a quicker response. The side sills are clad in brushed aluminum with 442 badging, and there's subtle character lines running from the doors back to the taillights, adding depth without clutter. Pop the doors, suicide-style hinges on the higher trims for that extra flair, and you see the frameless glass that seals up tight for wind noise that's whisper quiet at highway speeds. From the side, it's all about presence. It hunkers down on adaptive air suspension in sport mode, dropping an inch for a more menacing rake, and the flared fenders hint at the power bubbling beneath. Whether you're rolling through city traffic or posing at a car meet, this profile turns every head, reminding you why muscle cars were invented in the first place. Flip it around to the rear, and the 442 Cutlass seals the deal with a backside that's pure attitude. Quad exhaust tips chrome-wrapped and stacked. 2 per side poke out aggressively from a valance that's as blacked out as a villain's lair, with integrated diffusers channeling airflow for better stability at triple-digit speeds. Above them, the split-style LED taillights stretch horizontally, connected by a thin red strip that lights up like a digital heartbeat when you brake, giving it a modern edge over the boxy classics. An active rear spoiler deploys at 80 miles per hour or in track mode, rising up to 4 inches for downforce without killing the clean lines, and it's carbon fiber on the top trims to keep weight down. The trunk lid is subtle but functional, with a power liftgate option that swings open to reveal 13 cubic feet of space, enough for weekend bags or a set of golf clubs, and it folds flat for longer hauls. No fake vents here. Everything's purposeful, from the heat extractors on the deck lid to the reverse camera housed in a discreet fin. Overall, the rear screams, "Don't tailgate me," with that wide stance and low-slung diffuser making it look like it's about to squat for a launch. It's the kind of tail that makes lane changers think twice, slide inside, and whoa, the 2026 Oldsmobile 442 Cutlass transforms from street brawler to refined sanctuary. The cabin's built around the driver, with a cockpit that hugs you like a custom racing seat. Starting with those bolstered bucket seats wrapped in perforated leather, heated, ventilated, and massaging on the premium packs, with 12-way power adjusters and 442 embroideries stitched right into the headrests. They're firm for support during spirited drives, but soften up in comfort mode. And the rear bench folds 60/40ths for versatility, seating 3 adults without feeling cramped at 38 inches of legroom. Materials? Everywhere you look, it's soft-touch dash, Alcantara suede on the doors and headliner, and genuine wood inlays on the console if you spec the Heritage Edition. The steering wheel's a flat-bottom beauty in leather and Alcantara, with thumb grips, paddle shifters for the auto, and thumb wheels for drive modes. Twist one for eco, and it quiets the exhaust. Crank it to track, and it wakes the beast. Dead center is a 14.2-inch curved old touchscreen running GM's latest infotainment snappy as an iPhone, with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and over-the-air updates that keep navigation fresh without dealer visits. Below it, physical knobs for climate control feel premium, dual zone with air purification that scrubs out pollen on those dusty back roads. The digital gauge cluster is a 12.3-inch reconfigurable display, showing everything from tach to torque readouts, and ambient lighting shifts colors to match your mood: blue for chill cruises, red for hot laps. Bose's 14-speaker system thumps with clarity, whether you're blasting classic rock or a podcast, and there's wireless charging up front plus USB-C ports galore. Safety's baked in too, adaptive cruise that learns your style, lane keeping that nudges gently, and a 360-degree camera that makes parallel parking a joke. It's not just a car interior, it's a lounge on wheels that makes 4 hours on I-95 feel like 40 minutes. Buckle up. Because now we're getting to the good stuff, the performance that makes the 2026 Oldsmobile 442 Cutlass a legitimate threat. Under that vented hood sits a hand-built 6.6-liter twin-turbo V8, the LT6 mill that's been tuned for this revival, pumping out a ferocious 650 horsepower and 604 pound-feet of torque. It's not the old pushrod thumper. This is direct injected with variable valve timing and those turbos spooling up lag-free for instant shove. Paired to it is a slick 10-speed automatic that's smarter than ever, shifting like lightning in sport mode. Or you can row your own with the optional 6-speed Tremec manual for that pure analog thrill. Rear-wheel drive only because all-wheel just wouldn't feel right, but it comes with an electronic limited slip diff that claws grip from those Michelins. Punch the loud pedal from a stop, and you're pinned back 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds flat. Quarter mile in the low 11s at 125 miles per hour. And a governed top end of 198 miles per hour if you dare. Braking? Brembo 6-piston calipers up front bite down on 15-inch rotors, hauling it from 70 to 0 in under 160 feet, with ABS that doesn't hunt like a nervous rookie. Handling's transformed too, magnetic ride control shocks that read the road 1,000 times a second, stiffening for corners or floating over potholes, and a chassis that's 20% more rigid than the last Camaro thanks to hydroformed frame rails. Drive modes let you dial it in. Eco sips fuel at 18 mpg combined. Comfort smooths the ride for grandma. Sport sharpens throttle and tightens steering. Track unleashes launch control and torque vectoring that makes it dance through switchbacks like a Miata on steroids. And the sound? Active exhaust valves open for a deep, guttural rumble that echoes off overpasses or muffle for stealth mode. It's not just fast. It's communicative, alive, the kind of car that teaches you to drive better while forgiving your mistakes. Whether you're drag stripping or canyon carving, this 442 delivers the soul of muscle without the drama. Alright, let's talk brass tacks. What's it gonna set you back to bring this legend home? The base 442 starts at $64,999, which gets you the full V8 leather seats, that big touchscreen, and all the safety suite. Honestly, a steal when you stack it against the Dodge Challenger Hellcat's $70,000 entry or the Chevy Camaro ZL $175,000 tag for similar grunt. Step up to the sport trim at around $70,500, and you add the adaptive suspension, bigger brakes, and those 20-inch wheels. The top dog 442 Track Edition pushes to $78,000 with the carbon bits performance data logger that tracks